When I was a kid, about 7 or 8, I was staying with my dad one weekend in the middle of nowhere, Kentucky. It was like a bowl shape for the most part. We were surrounded by mountains around us and this big field where the house was. And at night, being as it's a big field, lightning bugs were everywhere. So I loved catching them, frogs, turtles, snakes, all that stuff. I loved catching animals, and I loved lightning bugs in particularly. And I would go and be catching them, with my cousin. And that night, it was right at the edge of dusk. Uh, Still light enough to see, but dark enough that you knew it was coming within a relative short time. And as we were out there, I remember looking up, catching a lightning bug, and holding it in my hands, and looking up and seeing this object, for lack of better words, slowly move through the air with a slight spin. It looked like a giant disc, giant plate. It had texture to the bottom of it. It had lights around it. They were all like a yellow-white color light, and it was almost like they were breathing, so to speak. It was very subtle in and out, and it's a very slow spin across the sky. It felt like it was low enough to hit the mountains, because I remember thinking it's going to crash in that mountain range. Like, it's going to hit those mountains, and we're going to see a big explosion or something. But there was no sound to it. That was something that really threw me for a loop. I was used to helicopters and airplanes. You heard them when you seen them, or even if you didn't see them, you usually heard them. But this made not a single noise. I mean, nothing. It was as if it was not there. If I had not looked up, I would have never known it was there. And I remember talking to my cousin. I'm like, what is that? It's not a helicopter. It's the only thing I could relate in my little mind was, okay, it's circle, so it's got to be a helicopter of some sort. But it's not making noises, and I don't see a helicopter shaped object. So either way, as it's flying over the mountains, I thought it was going to crash, and it passes over. It seemed like it was just high enough to skip over the trees. Naturally, I run to my dad. I'm like, Dad, I just saw something in the sky, and I don't know what it was. He's like, son, it's probably stars, something like that. Just kind of dismissed it, the typical father thing. And in the years went on, my cousin had said it was aliens, but I didn't know what aliens were. The internet wasn't accessible to me at that time, so I couldn't just look it up. And I got interested in that stuff from that day on. And throughout my life, I've had other experiences with other things, not just, spaceships. And it's kind of shown me how much more spiritual this world is. Whether we want to face it or not, and want to believe it or not, it don't matter. It's the way it is. Anyone that has been around certain things, you feel there's an energy to it, a pull, a drive. And that's the scary thing about the spirit realm. It can seem okay. The best lies are covered in truth. And it's a very interesting thing to know this world is so spiritual and to not grasp that this is all in the Bible. I mean, it's in Genesis of how the sons of God saw the daughters of men. They were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And they produced giants in the earth in those days and thereafter. So with that coming to that, it brings me to an interesting thing. The one thing that I have learned about aliens is that they love women, and they love to mess with the reproductive organs and reproductive stuff. Do you not find that strange? It's mentioned in the Bible, and also it's what is known as what the world would confess, that aliens are abducting people to make hybrids. It's in the Bible. See, these things you don't understand sometimes because you don't take the time to read, don't take the time to study. God is not changing. He is the same yesterday as he is tomorrow, as he was thousands of years ago. When he created everything, he's the same God that did that. He's unchanging. We change our minds daily about everything. But what I want to get to is this. We live in a highly spiritual world. If you don't have God to help you navigate it, you'll fall for the seducing spirits, as well as any other spirit that comes along that sounds like it's got some truth, and you'll run with it. But we are to be wary of these things. Spiritual warfare, spiritual realm is very much active. It's all around us. Many people see things bleed through, hear ghosts, voices, see things, hear things. There's more to this world than just what we see. Seeing is believing is a saying I always heard growing up. You can't say that anymore. Seeing is believing. Anyone can do anything now. Deep fakes are a thing of the past. It's reality. And with that being said, we need to be careful. We need to have discernment. And more importantly, we need to be grounded in the Word of God. It's easily to get caught up in this world and get lost in it. There's so much to it. We can't comprehend how deep the roots run to this world because we are not God. And we want to think we are. We want to try to create and be like God, but we're farthest thing from it. That's a lot I said today, and I tell you, if you've stuck around with this, God bless you. I thank you. I appreciate your time. I pray that you don't just take my word for it, but do you some research in the Bible. Look in Genesis, look in Daniel, Revelation, look throughout this book, and look for these answers, and God will show you them. We need discernment now more than ever, people. We are not living in times of peace and safety. There's so much more. That's all I can say is there's so much more to this world. And if you're denying God and cutting him out, you're missing almost everything. And that's the sad truth. God bless you. I love you. Thank you for just sticking around.